Hey Micah, remember that one time that you couldn't blow your nose so you asked me to blow it for you? Well, it got me thinking. I know that GoPro has kind of gotten a bad rap. You know, they're kind of behind the times. They're not keeping up with the competition. With their most recent release of the GoPro Hero 6, a lot of complaints have come out about how it's $100 more and yet it's not much better. It's not worth that $100. With all that feedback out there, I don't want to add to that pot, so I decided to do a video that is 4 high fives for the Hero 6. See what I did there? 4, 5, 6. All right. Number 1 is stabilization. In other words, EIS, or electronic image stabilization. GoPro has done very well with this on this camera. If you look at comparisons between the 5 and the 6, and I'm sorry, I don't have the 5, so I can't do that kind of a comparison. I wasn't using the GoPro enough to upgrade it, so I decided to just stick with what I had. Anyway, so I can't do a comparison between the 5 and the 6 image stabilization, but take my word for it, it is a world of difference. Before, I was not comfortable giving the camera to somebody that I was filming and having them film themselves like this. But now with the image stabilization, I'm totally comfortable doing that, and I know that it's going to be a usable image. It's really nice, and it kind of is like taking out GoPro's one of their bigger products that they came out with, and that is the gimbal. But hey, props to you, GoPro, because the way that you continue to progress and innovate is by just outdoing yourself. So, high five. Number 2 is audio. Now, coming from the Hero 3 and the Hero 4, the audio sucked. Like, it was horrible. But now the audio it's usable. Like I am so happy that they were able to get this, and especially coming like out of the water. I was shooting in Grand Cayman and I was shooting some stingrays underneath the water, and then I would bring it up to say something. It was able to clear out the speakers and then adjust and capture that audio. I was blown away. I was very surprised. I'm not very graceful. I'm not very graceful. The other aspect about audio that I never even realized until I ran into the problem was that this records in stereo, which as I look at it now, I don't even see the 2 stereo ports. Here's one, and looks like the other one's up here, but I believe, and then there's one down here. And what that means is that if I'm holding it like this, okay, and I'm covering one of the microphones, but there are 2 more left over, and it's able to take the audio from those 2 and make it sound good so it doesn't sound like you're kind of touching this all the time. The way I used this actually was my left audio had the sound of my hand touching it, and my right audio didn't, and so I was able to fill my left channel with my right channel, and the audio sounded great. It's like the touching wasn't even there. So that's something that a lot of people overlook when they're editing GoPro footage, and I found it extremely useful, and I kind of just stumbled onto it too, so high five. The third one is usability. I am a fan of this interface on the back, and as well as the app. They totally revamped the app, which made things so much better. And also making sure that the Quick Stories app, like, okay, it's fun, like Quick Stories is fun, but it's like, I'm not gonna use it. I just won't. So I'm really glad that they took that app and made it completely separate and just had the GoPro app for using it and, you know, controlling it from your phone. Like, I'm glad that they had those 2 separate things, because combining it all into one, it would just make it a crappy app, and it would be like the GoPro Cinema thingamajig that they had on your computer. Man, that was horrible. All right, anyway. So usability, high five GoPro. And then the last thing, and the thing that really people are gonna buy this for, is the frame rates. They were able to pack in 4K at 60 frames per second, 2.7K at 120 frames per second, and 1080p at 240 frames per second. Most of the time I'm shooting 1080, and so that 240 is just prime. My only other camera that I have that shoots 240 is my FS700. Since I'm able to match that, doing a lot of outdoor videography, I'll be able to point it towards somebody that's shooting a gun, and you'll actually get a pretty cool effect with it. So high five GoPro. Those are my 4 high fives for the Hero 6, and I really hope that they're able to improve the grain issue, because I know that was a huge problem in this one. But you know what? That's for next year, and that's all I got for today, so we'll see you on the tubes.